light off my glasses. Oh, but you get it too.
Hello,
I'm like, I
hello,
thought I got ask you before.
hello, hello, everyone. My name is Linda Murray Bullis. They call me the business plug. And so today I have Tracy Jones of TLJ Professional Services. She's going to introduce herself in just a second, but I have two things I need to tell you about. The first one is tomorrow here in Chattanooga, it's called Startup Week Chat. So it's Startup Week CHA, and it starts tomorrow morning. And so if you are, and I'm trying to cut my phone off here, if you are anywhere in the United States or abroad, and if you have internet service, you can go to Startup Week Chat. It's CHA, Startup Week Chat .com. Startupweekchat.com. Startupweekcha.com. And you can see the schedule. It's an entire week of free events, all about business, all about starting up, all about next level, everything you want to know about business. All the classes are free. I am actually hosting a 1 o'clock class, which will be building your own business. And it's going to be my book. So I am doing this into a presentation tomorrow. You can get this on Amazon, but I will be going through this book and I am doing Building Your Own Business 101. So I'm going to help you guys get started. Tomorrow is the first day. We are going to get unstuck. It starts about 9 in the morning to like 9 at night. So it's like all day. So if you work first shift, you can catch some things in the evening. And if you work second shift, you can catch some things in the morning. Everything is free, full schedule. We have, and I don't remember what her last name is, but she's a venture capitalist. Her first name is Arlen. And so she likes to promote and support and finance Black businesses. She's actually one of the keynotes here this week. So you want to go to the schedule. It's at Startup Week. And I could put that in the chat. So let me do that. I'll put that in the chat so you can get it because I want to, hey there, Louise Bell. How are you, dog? So yeah, so it's Startup Week CHA.com, and I have it in the chat for you. But go there and register and create your own schedule and just enjoy the whole week, all about business, everything you want to know about marketing, social media, sales strategies, structure, systems, the whole nine, all week long from 9 to 9, and all the events are free. So yeah, that's the first thing I want to tell you. The second thing I want to tell you is that if you are wanting to start your business, but you don't know what to do, because the number one question I get is, Linda, I have a business idea. What do I do next? I am actually going to do a course. So it's start your business in 90 days. In 90 days, your business could be up and running. And how you get to that, I'm going to post that in the video, in the broader video. So you can register. $50 holds your seat. And you create a call. We have a conversation, an orientation, so you'll know what to expect and you'll know how it works. But my class, after our last session, they gave me gift cards to Ruth Chris. They were like, thank you. Yeah. And speaking of which, now I can introduce Tracy because that's a good segue because Tracy was one of our professional expert speakers that came and did a presentation for my class. So, hey, Tracy.
Hey, how are you? Thank you
Good.
for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming back by. Thank you for coming because you came in and talked to my class and told them about bookkeeping and how to get their books in order. And we just went through October 15th, which was tax day, right? The delayed tax day. Yeah, that's coming up like this week. So I wanted to bring you in because I know a lot of people are going to be like, about tax day. So
It's fast.
Right.
October 15th.
Absolutely, but they still probably have anxieties from what happened last Thursday. So we're going to start today getting ready for the next year, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so bookkeeping is a big part of that. So can you tell us about what we should be doing now that we've made it through October 15th? What should we be doing now to get ready for the next tax period?
Okay, so let me introduce myself.
Thank you.
I am Tracy Jones, the CEO of TLJ Professional Services, where we're about all things financial. That's my little plug. But we do bookkeeping, accounting, taxes for business and individual. We do life and health insurance. for individuals as well as business. We do business formation, like setting up LLCs, S Corps, C Corps, as well as business coaching. So with that, what you should be preparing for, you should have learned a lot from your last tax preparation. Now, if you did them yourself, you didn't learn nothing, right? Now, because it's you, right? But if someone else have done your taxes for you, they should have went over your taxes with you as well as advise you what they saw. So one thing that, and that's the reason why we started offering the services that we do, because we just used to do bookkeeping. We just used to do taxes. I've been doing taxes since I was 16, because that's when I started working. So over 35 years experience. And doing taxes, you could tell a lot about a business's books. Okay.
Yes.
And one thing that I know over the 35-year experience is that when your books are not in order, you're leaving money on the table. You're overpaying in taxes unnecessarily, right? So there's a lot that you can learn looking at somebody's financial statements. That I will tell you is true.
Yeah, because the numbers don't lie, right?
Numbers don't lie.
The numbers
They do
tell the
not
real
lie.
thing.
And they also tell, I mean, the thing about it is that people don't really understand is that their financial statements are the lens into their business, right? If you're not keeping track of your numbers, you don't know how your business is doing.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot of people that think that, you know, they're calculating the money in their head. And they're looking at it like, okay, I brought in this, you know, I done spent this, but they're not really tracking to see where they're overspending in their business. They're not looking at where they can invest more in their business. Are they trying to scale and grow? You know, so there's a lot of things that you can learn reading your financials.
Absolutely. And that's a good thing to know, because I keep talking about my friend Dante Stevens, who's in our group with us at TSP. And Dante said he didn't know that he was operating a 6-figure business until he went to his tax preparer. And when he put all the numbers, but that's the wrong time to find out that you're 6 figures.
That's true. That's very true. You should know your numbers every single month. So to go back to your initial question, now that the tax season is over, you should have learned some things from your tax preparation that you should be implementing now while you can, because you have until December 31st to get your book right. So if you've been keeping them yourself all year and you don't know what you're doing, and you know you don't know what you're doing, now's the time to invest in a professional. Okay.
Absolutely.
And the key word is invest, because it's an investment in your business, it's an investment in yourself, you know, and you can save a lot of money by having someone else do it. You think it costs you money to get it done, but it's costing you more by not having a professional.
Absolutely. And the thing about it, like what he was saying, because you don't want to find out that you operate a 6-figure business in a tax preparer's office, because that means taxes are due. And in Dante's case, he was like, well, where's the money?
Right. But that's just it. He didn't know where the money went, because it's easy, you know. And me personally, I like to spend, I like to shop. So I intentionally do not go and withdraw cash from the ATM, because I swear I go to the ATM today and tomorrow I'm like, why am I going back? Where did the money go?
Exactly.
You know, but it's that way in business as well, you know, because you're just paying for the normal operations of business. But if you don't know what that cost is, you don't know what you're making.
Absolutely.
Therefore, you don't know how to invest it back into the business or into other avenues. You just don't know.
Right. And in that PPP, that, you know, 60% of businesses didn't get it because they didn't have financial records. Right.
Exactly.
And financial records are huge. Like when you're talking about getting funding, a lot of people want, well, where's the money for business? How do I find capital to operate my business? How do I find capital to start my business? Those people that you're trying to get money from want to know what you've done with the money you've already accumulated.
Exactly.
If you've accumulated any. So it's very important that you start monitoring your revenue now and your expenses. Like, that's just paramount. And so
Exactly.
your company does bookkeeping. So you will go in and set up like I think one of the services we talked about previously where you will go in if they want to do it themselves, you'll still help them get set up.
Exactly. So we offer several packages. So we actually offer our highest packages that we help you set up your business, set up your QuickBooks automation, give you business coaching, and this literally set you up and help you and monitor you all 12 months for 1 year from your start up until 12 months. So start to tax prep. So we offer all of those services in between. And of course, businesses are at different levels, right? They might can't afford that done for you package where we literally hold your hand for 12 months, right? Maybe they don't have a whole lot of activity. And some people think, oh, I don't have a lot of activity, so I don't need to set up like a QuickBooks or whatever. That's not true because you don't know what you don't know. I have a client that we just picked up. And she literally gave me her stuff 2 days before the deadline. And when I tell you her books was not in order, we had to back all the way up. So she's not even going to make the tax. She didn't make the tax deadline because we have to go all the way back to January just to get her numbers right because she's just writing them down. I'm like, you got way more expenses than this. We're not doing no $27,000 tax debt. We're not doing that. Now, I'm looking at your stuff like, well, where's your expenses? She don't know. She's like, well, I'm not going to be able to get that to you right away. Okay, well, you're going to have to get them to me because I'm not submitting these taxes like that. That's what I'm not going to do. That's part of what makes us different from other tax preparers.
And if you haven't filed already, you hopefully you apply. Are they offering an extension like they normally
No. Okay, so the extension was the October 15th deadline.
Ooh.
So normally taxes are due, and that was something I had to educate her on. I'm like, how long you been in business that you don't know these tax dates? You knew about the April 15th, which is the regular tax deadline. This year, because of COVID, they extended it to July 15th, right? So that because people just was panicked in the pandemic, right? But they never moved the extension deadline. The extension deadline has always been October 15th.
Okay.
Years, a very long time. Now in California, we've had wildfires in a lot of our counties. So there's like 9 different counties. I did lives on them. 9 different counties in the state of California that actually have an extension through December 31st because they're dealing with wildfires. Like they may have lost their homes, their records, their businesses. So they did get an extension, but you have to reside and or work in those counties in order to get that December 15th extension.
Wow. That's something else. And that's the thing. So, because I never used the extension, so that's why I don't know much about it.
Well, clearly she didn't either. She thought I can extend her on October 15th to give her an extension. I'm like, no, that is the extension. You had all year to do this.
Yeah, see, I never use it. I have never used the extension because I make sure by April 15th I have represented. I mean, I've done that, been filing taxes for myself since I was like 14, my first job, but I've always used the April 15th deadline unless they give you like the 17th or run on the weekend.
Right.
Or whatever.
If it run on the weekend, sometimes they'll put it to that Monday. Right. Or if they happen to fall on, I think it's what president's holiday, sometimes it could fall on that in like a leap year or something like that.
Good Friday or something. Yeah.
It is something that I've seen them extend it. And then one year, and it might have been the year before last, the first year that Trump introduced his tax plan, they had to extend it an additional day because the site crashed.
Yeah.
The IRS site crashed. People were waiting till last minute because Trump tried to put tax preparers out of business, and he actually put us more in business because people don't know how to read those forms. They're completely confused. He made something simple and made it into all these things, and people are like, I've always done my tax. I've gathered. I got 50 new clients this year, and like 20 new clients last year, first tax year. And they were simply because I've been doing my taxes all these times and I'm lost. I'm confused with how these forms look. Like they thought they did them wrong because, he put that cap of 10K on the tax deductions that you can make. And in California, we're a high tax state. So these high income earners were used to writing off their state taxes, which could be $30,000, $40,000. And it was limited to 10,000. So people freaked out. They like, well, wait a minute. I ain't never had to pay.
I'm
So
sure.
it worked in reverse. But I will tell you this, you've been able to do your taxes by April 15 because you have your, that's plain
Yeah.
and simple.
Yeah, yeah. I pretty much stick to that. But I'm a component of QuickBooks, right? I
Yeah,
love
that
QuickBooks
helps.
Online where I can download it and get it all put in and let it do what it do at the end of the year. I love that whole setup because it takes the worry out. Like as long as I make sure everything is put in right, then it comes out right, right? But for somebody who's doing no bookkeeping at all, or somebody who's doing very little bookkeeping at all, you automation, it will be a breeze because I
It is.
love I love going in and downloading straight from my bank to my QuickBooks. Like I enjoy that. And then it tells me what I need to reconcile. I love that.
Yes.
So a lot of people are still like, if you use general ledger, like if you feel like you can't afford the automation, and it's like $18 a month, so it's not like it's, I mean, 18 to $25, depends on what you get, but it's not that expensive when you look at the whole scope of things, because
Exactly.
paying that money up front is going to allow you to have the right taxes in
Right,
the end.
the right deductions and write-offs. Yeah, so you pay less in taxes because you know that you're capturing everything. Now, one thing that I always speak to as well is commingling funds. If
Mm,
you're a business, you should have a business bank account. You could
yes,
set up a separate bank account, even as a sole prop, to separate your business and your personal. Because
yes,
when you commingle, and that's also part of the problem, their books were commingled. It's like, okay, well, you have to tell me what's actually business and what's personal, because there's some items, depending on the business type, right? Costco could be a business write-off for one person, but personal to somebody else, right?
right.
So all of that matters. And to what you were speaking about, the QuickBooks automation, once you automate, the only thing that you really have to touch is those items that are unusual or not recurring, I should say. But there's a lot of your transactions that you got to pay every month, like rent,
Yeah.
right? Right? Subscriptions. And in order to scale your business, it is a must. So that is one of our lower packages we offer, to go ahead and set up your business, set up your QuickBooks to automation, and make sure that you understand what chart of accounts was set up for your business.
That's good
That
stuff.
matters, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you, I mean, that's everything though. And you're talking about putting controls in place for the lifeblood of your business.
Right.
Like the revenue is everything. Because if you're not making money, you won't be in business long.
Well, you won't know if you making money if you, like you said, he done brought in all these millions and didn't even know it, because he's overspending somewhere else. For you to make a million and not know that you hit that means you're overpaying in expenses somewhere. And
Yeah.
that's where, looking at your books, I actually saved one of my clients a lot of money because they used to go shopping every day. Their restaurant, they would go shopping every day to get the items that they need. I was like, if you don't start buying bulk, because you're overspending. When you buy bulk, you get a better rate. Go sign yourself up with a wholesale account. With all of those type of things, like, why are you not no regular consumer? Why are you paying
And
consumer prices?
retail. Yeah. And see, and that's the thing too, because what I find is if you have a financial person on board on your team, they can look at, because you're too close to it. Like when
That's
you're running, operating your business, you have all the hats. And so you're too close to what's going on in your business to actually take a step back and see where you can save money. And the person that's doing your books, a person that's doing your accounting, then they understand that, hey, you're spending, they can keep an eye on it for you, right? Your chart of accounts,
yeah.
and say, hey, you're spending a lot of money. Let's talk about that. Let's go through and see if we need to do something different. So having those conversations throughout the year can save you money.
Exactly. It allows you to pivot.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
tracking your expenses every month, you can see which months is your high months, because business is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Most
Ebb and flow.
businesses do have a downtime, where that's the time that not only did you need to preserve money from your uptime, right? You need to, that's an opportunity for you to pivot your business. If COVID didn't teach us nothing else as business owners, you have to learn how to pivot.
Absolutely.
And that was something even with me, because even though my bookkeeping clients existed, they didn't have no money to pay me. Right. So I pivoted to, okay, well, what businesses can get this funding because their books are not in order? Let me help you get your books in order.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that allowed me to pivot, and not shut down. But it's things like that, that if you don't even know your position, how do you know how to pivot?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is that conversation. If you're watching this and you have comments, go ahead and put your comments and we'll answer your questions, or look at your comments if they're out there. But knowing what you are doing is going to help you if you're talking about scaling your business, right?
You have to.
Because ideally you want to scale, ideally every year you want to do better.
Yes.
And there may be opportunities that you're missing. Like
Very
if you
much
don't,
so.
right. If you have no financial records, then you don't know which of your products you're getting the biggest profit margin on. You don't know like the health. It's like the vitals of your business. Like you don't
Right.
know the vitals
Right. Very
of
much so.
what to do. Yeah. So this is why this is important. And I'm so glad this came so timely.
Right. And I'm actually putting out a course, how to optimize your tax deduction. And I
Yeah.
actually intentionally waited until after the October 15th, because people be so frantic within themselves about taxes. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, woosah, right? Because one thing you're going to always have is taxes. So don't have anxiety behind it. Because one thing about it is if you're prepared and well prepared, you don't have no anxiety around
Absolutely.
taxes, because
Absolutely.
you're able to plan and set it up to where you are saying how you're going to pay your taxes. See, when you frantic, you letting the IRS determine your penalties, your interest, and how you're going to pay your taxes. When you're
Yeah.
well organized, that's already done for you. Now, one thing I want to point out is there's a difference between a bookkeeper and an accountant.
Yes.
Okay. So bookkeeping is the day-to-day recording of your transactions. That's one person. That a bookkeeper cannot talk to the IRS on your behalf. You have to have an accountant. Okay. They don't have to be a CPA. So, like, I'm not a CPA, but I've been in business over 35 years. I have a master's in business and accounting and in public administration. But I'm also a ERO for the IRS, meaning that I can speak to the IRS on your behalf.
Oh
So
yeah.
I am an accountant, but I'm not a CPA.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am, Miss Louise. Yes, you do have to keep up with your business records. That's part of the course. So in my course, I actually talk about in detail about business formations, because there's myths around business formation. People are actually afraid to be a corporation. It's like, why? You know what I'm
Yeah.
so I dispel some of the myths around around being a corporation or S corp, and what's required about that. I talk about bookkeeping and accounting, the difference between them and what you need to keep track of, because every business is different and there is no one size fits all. People get that confused as well. They think because this person is a sole prop, they have to be a sole prop, or this person is a LLC, they have to be a LLC. No, it's what's
It's
best for
no
your business and your business journey you're trying to go on. That person might
right.
only want to do one product line, but then if you're looking to open courses, do products, do education, you want to be a corporation to protect everything that you're investing in.
Wow. And see, and that's good. And a lot of people go in business as a sole proprietor, which is the easiest way to go in business, but it's also the most riskiest way because you don't have a hedge between you and you don't have a you don't have a hedge between your assets and your business, meaning that if some customer gets a hair in their bonnet, that they can come for everything that you own. And
Exactly.
and that's not good.
Yeah,
If
you
you
have
own
no
if you have
protection as
assets.
sole prop, but then you're also paying the highest taxes, really, because
Wow.
you're not separating business from personal. In essence,
Yeah.
it goes
Yeah.
right on your personal tax return, and from a business perspective or sole prop, as a sole prop, you pay not only like your Social Security and Medicare, from your personal side of things, but also from the business side. And people get discombobulated when they come to their self-employment tax, but that's exactly what it is. It's your contribution to your disability and Social Security because you're self-employed. But
Yeah.
as a business, it's not really a write-off.
Right.
It's an additional tax to you as a sole prop
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
versus a
Yeah.
deduction as a business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, so I mean, structure is everything. So, what tends to start out well will end well, right? So
Amen.
understanding which way you need to structure. It starts there. It starts with actually doing it starts with actually understanding your particular situation. Like how are your assets? Like what's your aversion to risk? How
Right.
much are you adverse to risk? And structuring your business so that you get the lowest amount of risk possible for your unique situation. Again, it is not a one size fits all.
At all.
What goes for your best friend may not work for you,
That's true.
because your assets may be different. So it's just understanding things like that. The people who are preparing your taxes, the people who are doing your bookkeeping, like these are questions you need to ask them. These are conversations that TLJ is giving their
Exactly.
clients every day to make
Every
sure.
month we go over their financial statements so that they know where to pivot. Because if you don't, that's gonna be your result month after month after month. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, can you expect a different outcome?
Right. And that's like Einstein said, doing the same thing, wanting different results is
Right.
insanity. The definition of insanity. So if
That's
you're
right.
wanting you want to scale your business, if you want to put your business out there where your business can start growing, like understanding your numbers, that's the one thing, like in my class that I have coming up on November 5th. That's one of the things that I slow it down for. I slow the whole class down to make sure my students have the numbers, because understanding those numbers, understanding what's a gross profit, understanding what your break even points are,
Mhm.
understanding, what your net profit is versus a gross profit, and what's your cost of goods sold, and what's your unit cost. And, all those, like when people hear about the finances of business, they roll their eyes and a lot of them don't come back. They be like, what? All I want to, all I
Yeah, a
want
lot
to
of
do
them
is
don't want to hear it
they don't want to hear it, but it's the lifeblood. I mean, it's everything. If you're not making a profit, you won't be in business long. I mean,
at
that's
all.
just the long and short of it. So if you don't understand the numbers, like I love it when people come and they can articulate their financial position to me. Like this is
That's
our
right.
this is our unit, and this is what we projected, and I love that. I mean, I'm
Right.
like, yeah, those are like music to my ears to find business owners who actually understand the financial parts of their businesses. And so that's
Exactly.
what we're teaching them in the course starting on November the 5th. And if they're already in
Yeah.
business and up and running, they can contact TLJ and,
That's
and,
right.
and get things in order. That's what this
Yes.
is about. This is about getting things in order, because your finances is everything. Like everything to your business idea, every single thing. A lot of business owners are like our friend Dante, where they get the money in, they spend the money out. But ideally, you want to know what you get in, what you have going out, who is it going to, what is it
Hmm.
going for, and you're able to look at the metrics and trends of your business
Exactly.
to understand what the numbers are telling you. Because if you don't know those things, you're a lost ball in high weeds.
I
Lost ball
like
in high
that.
weeds. You're a lost ball in high weeds. You
That's
can't
right.
find your way around. You can't. Yeah. And so that's why I thought it was important to bring you on and
Well, I
help
appreciate that.
to talk to these business owners that follow. I have business owners on LinkedIn. Shout out to LinkedIn. I have business owners following me on Facebook. Shout out to Facebook. You guys,
Amen.
this is information that you can use, and you are welcome to either go to the link that I'm going to put here for the class, because the class that I'm offering is called Building Your Own Business, and we are actually taking a step back and we're looking at the person. We're looking at the business owner first to find out what their leadership style is, so that they'll know how to build their teams properly. And then we're looking
Amen.
at every aspect of business. Like we're taking them through the numbers. We're taking them through sales and marketing and systems and the whole gamut, customer service, all of that. And we're trying to teach them about a life journey for their customer journey for their customers, so that they
Right.
can doing the one sale and done, right?
Right.
Because you
Right.
can't scale a
Yeah.
business.
How to recycle, and keep
Absolutely.
them going. One thing that we do with our customers, you become part of the family. No matter where you start at, that's not where you're going to end up at with us, because one thing that you said for sure is, like, to scale your business, some people even think it's taboo to use other people's money. No, that's exactly how corporations build. But nobody is going to invest in your business if your numbers are not there. Anybody that
Absolutely.
watch Shark Tank, one of the first things they do too is ask you, how do you know what the number is? Right? They want to know how you know that's what the number is.
Right.
Michelle can't say I calculated it in my head. No, they
Yeah.
want to see financial records before anyone will lend you money. So your
Absolutely.
numbers have to be in order.
Right. And that's, they want to know your previous sales. How did you get to that number? If you're So when you're watching Shark Tank, the next time you're watching Shark Tank, I want you to all to look at when they first come in, and they're getting ready to start their next season. When they first come in, they do a valuation. They say, well, for 15%, we want
Mhm.
$50,000. Valuating your company is millions, and they're like, well, how did you get to that number?
Right.
How did you get to that number? And then you have to show them, you have to walk them through how you figured that number. It has to be based on hard data, not
Oh
something
yeah,
in your head.
that's
Not
true.
something in your head. Because all of us think we have a $1 million dream. All of us think our businesses are worth $1 million. But unless you've had the sales that equals that, then it's just a pipe dream. You have to show
And
them.
then but you really have to look at the gross profit from that standpoint, because
Absolutely.
it costs you something to make that sale,
Absolutely. Cost of goods
right?
sold. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
because if nothing else, you have to look at the gross profit line, because your expenses, you can kind of pivot and move. Also, your gross profit, it depends on how you're spending it, right? Or what you're spending it on. You can pivot in that as well. By, like I said, buying in bulk can make a difference in your gross profit, right? In your cost of goods sold. But without that number, you're not going to make a sale without those items that would in cost of goods sold. So just
Absolutely.
knowing those two numbers is pivotal in knowing if you're making a profit or not, because you could change how you spend the money, right? Because the rest of it is spending the money. You
Yeah.
know, the gross profit is or the cost of goods sold is part of making the product or making it a sale. So
Right.
looking at that
Yeah.
number that way changes
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. And trying to find the best way to do that without giving up on quality.
That
Right.
part. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you have to be able to, you can adjust it by going to a different vendor or negotiating a different
Hmm.
price, but you still can't give up quality in trying to
Right.
get a lower number. So just understanding what that is, and understanding how all that maps out and how you as a business owner makes that decision. Like you as
Right.
a business owner, because I've had my students, I've been doing what I do in these courses for the last 7 years. And I've asked my students about, they come to me and say, well, Linda, how do I know that I'm charging the right price? And there's math to that. Like there's a real
Hmm.
math to know that
Yes,
whether
it is.
yeah, there's a real math to that. So teaching them that math so that they're able to make sure that their price. That's why I don't worry about. I tell my students that everyone's not your customer, and my
Right.
students better not be out here in these streets trying to negotiate some prices with some people, because they know their prices are rock solid. Their price has a mathematical basis, and so they're pricing
Exactly.
right every single time. So they better not be out here trying to negotiate. Negotiate what? This is your price. Your price is your
Exactly.
price.
And they either take it or leave it. I had to learn that for myself. I
Yeah.
just did a price increase where I hadn't done that in years. But reality is, I've been giving away stuff for free, and I can't
Hey,
keep doing that. You know
hey,
what I'm
when you
saying?
know
So
better,
I'm prepared to
you do
lose some
better.
clients if I have to, because it's going to make room for the clients that see the value in
That
what
part.
these numbers mean.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is everyone is not your client. And so, I was just talking to a business owner today. I said, I've had to fire some clients. And he was
Yeah.
like, what? I was like, yeah, I fire clients. Because
Yeah, I
if
do
we're not a
too.
good match, if they're high maintenance and we're not a good match, we're not a good match. It doesn't make them a bad person. It's just
Right.
that they're not for me. My core values doesn't match up with theirs. And reasons, it's better if they find somebody else to work with than me, and I'm okay with that. And
You
he's
and me
like,
both.
"Whoa, you do?" because we were talking about the customer's always right, and he was like, well, the customer's always
No.
right. I'm like, no, the customer's always the customer.
Right.
They don't mean they're always right.
That's true. I don't believe in that. You
Yeah,
know, because
no.
it's kind of like respect. Respect got to go
Yeah,
both ways.
absolutely.
You don't just
Absolutely.
get it. You got to get
No,
it to get it.
yeah,
You
put
know?
that craziness back in the box. We're not doing that. We're not doing that over here. So yeah, go find somebody that want to deal with that. But
That's true.
understanding, but see, when you know your position, when you understand your numbers, that's why I can speak that, because I know each and every single time they're getting value. That's what's
Exactly.
important. That's what's important.
Exactly.
When you know you're giving your clients value, and you know that if they do what you tell them to do, they're going to increase their bottom line, because that's what it's all about. It's all about, how can we help you to increase your bottom line? How can we help
Right.
you to understand your business holistically so that you are the best one in your field out here killing the game? You
Right.
know, your
That's
numbers
true.
are what get you there. So that's what we all do in TSP, where we all belong, excuse me. But in TSP, where we all belong, that's what we do, is we try to get our business customers our clients and customers to understand their business well on a whole different level. So it's not
Exactly.
about just selling something.
Right. And it's not just numbers, it's value as well. You know, but the value that you bring kind of dictates your number.
Yeah.
So they do go hand in hand. But you know, you can't do one without the other. Let's put it that way. Because I don't care what you charge. If your product is garbage, that's where you were saying you can't just scale to the cost of goods sold to the cheapest item. That's not how it works. Because
No.
it's your brand. You know, even with me right now, I'm hiring for salespeople, right? And one of the young ladies I'm talking to, I told her, I'm like, look, you represent my brand. So I don't believe in the salesman or car salesman approach.
Yeah.
We're not starving over here. You know, don't misrepresent my business trying to get a sale. That's not how that goes. It's the
Absolutely.
integrity behind it and everything else. But you represent me and my brand. And we don't do
Absolutely.
things like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of our value, right? And that
Yeah.
shows in our numbers. But because our clients, they use us in multiple areas of their business,
Uh-huh.
and they're recurring clients. Like my tax clients, they come back year after year after year.
Uh-huh.
And that's the value
Exactly.
that the numbers bring.
So tell us how they can get into that course to understand their finances.
I don't have a way to drop something in comments, so if I could give it to you, it's a link, and you could drop it in the chat. That would be awesome.
Absolutely. I will make sure that when I post this, when I put the final post, I will put that link in the post
Okay.
so that they can get it. But it's understanding their finances. So if you want to connect with TLJ Professional Services, then I'm going to have the link for you to do that. And so
Awesome.
you always bring goodies when you come to see my people. So tell them
Yes,
about
I
the goodies.
do. I always bring goodies. So
Yeah.
just for being part of Linda's, just her whole aura, right? Just being part of her tribe. You know, I'm blessed to be part of her tribe. So just for being part of her, you get a 10% discount. You just let me know it came from Linda, and it's a 10% discount. Now the course, we're in pre-sale, so now would be the time to get. This is over 36% off. We're getting $200 off our course. Our course is normally $547 and is now $347. So you can get that. The pre-sale is not going to last long because we're looking to launch, because now is the time. People need to learn now how to optimize their taxes, because there's still time. You can actually turn it around, right?
Absolutely.
And do what you need to do in your business to end the year strong, and then recover from Q1, 2, and 3 if you haven't been tracking those numbers, because now you'll know how to pivot. We're coming up on the highest spending season in every year, right? Christmas is the highest spending season. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, all of that. This is when everything gets sold. So now is the time to know your numbers, know how to. They need to be in your course for sure, so that they can learn about the net price. You know, their costs and all. They need to know the whole gamut on how to price their stuff. going into the Christmas sale season and going into Black Friday.
Absolutely. And that's what we're doing. So we're giving, so the course that I am going to have, we are actually going to teach you how to do an online business. So, and at the end of the course, you get a guaranteed business plan.
See,
So
that's awesome.
we're doing the whole thing. We're trying to make them where they're able to find funding. In our last class, one of my students found her funding, and she's opening up next month in November.
That's awesome. Yeah, right in time, right? Right in
Absolutely.
time.
Absolutely. She's going to be able to get in on that Black Friday sale and everything for the brides, for the fiancés that's looking for their dress.
Okay.
So yeah, but now is the pivotal time to get the knowledge so that you understand exactly what you need to do in this season. If you are an operating business and you're just selling something, you have no business background, you don't have a mentor, you don't have somebody who's helping you figure all this stuff out, you're probably about to have a headache because it's a lot.
I have blood pressure. Let me tell you something. And I've actually had somebody explain that to me because I didn't look at the value of just me easing their mind. Like their blood pressure had went down. Like I changed people's health effects, because it's stressful when you don't know what you don't know and you're trying to do this stuff yourself and you're trying to figure out why you're not making a profit and all that stuff. And then I do your books and I explain to you exactly why.
Come on, girl.
And how we could pivot and make that happen. Where are you trying to get to so we can get you there? Let's adjust these numbers. Even if it means outsources versus in-house, because you have payroll and payroll costs and all that stuff. Sometimes it's just as easier to outsource. Why not do that? Right? Absolutely. And but I've had somebody say just the peace of mind that they got from me taking over their books. And you can see it. Like you can literally see it. They were like, to just this peace. And that's why I'm in business.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Every all this peace.
Yeah, I get it. I tell you, I get it because at the end of every class that we host in our course, we have takeaways. And so the students one by one go around and say, what did they take away? Because the whole thing about the course that I have coming up in November is I want you to immediately start implementing. And so in order to do that, at every class, we talk about, okay, what is your takeaway? Because I have to make sure that I'm giving value to the students. It's not just you sitting in a class like you're in school. No. You're taking things away that you can actually implement. And I imagine that your course is going to do the same thing. Like they're going to have a deeper understanding of finances, business finances
I go as far as going over how your financial statements tie to your tax return. And a lot of people don't know how the numbers work, but that's what my course covers. And we have a 30-day money guarantee because I know you're going to get value. You're not going to leave that course without knowing what business, that you're in the right business structure, that you are keeping your books the way you should be, or what you need to do to outsource, as well as how to read your financial statements and how they tie to your taxes.
Absolutely. We've seen this stuff work. That's why I have a guarantee too. If they don't get what they came for in mind, they get their money back. It's not about your money. It's not about your money. It's about helping people who want to do business well, learn how to do business well so that they can be profitable. Because starting a business change your whole entire family trajectory. Like starting a business is like legacy building for your kids and grandkids.
Very much
starting a business is freedom. I mean, it has so many benefits. And right now is the perfect time to do that. So so I'm going to close out. But if you will give them your closing remarks, ma'am, and then I'll come back and close.
Okay, so again, I am Tracy Jones. I'm the CEO at TLJ Professional Services, where we do actually offer all things financial, from bookkeeping and business formation all the way through tax prep. You can follow us on TLJ Professional Services on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and we opening up Twitter because we had got a shout out on Twitter, and I wasn't even on Twitter. I'm like, no, they're shouting you out on Twitter. Okay, I don't even have Twitter. So, Miss Louise, the class mine is actually self-paced. You do it as self-paced, but part of the bonuses you get is one-to-one lot. You get a one-to-one session with me, but I do monthly Q&A. sessions. So the course is due as go along as you please. It will release November 1st. So we are in pre-sale right now, and that's why the pre-sale ain't gonna last long, because we actually are launching for November 1st. So I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
But yes, you can find the information on our website, but I would prefer that you go through the link that Miss Linda is going to share, because that site is a convertory site. I can give you I could tell you. So it's tljconvertory.com/tax deductions course. Now,
TLJ.
yeah, TLJ. So I put it in the link to you in the private chat, Miss Linda.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
TLJ.convertory, convertri.com/tax deductions course. Because there it tells you everything that we're going to go over in the course. Is going to tell you the bonuses that you get. It tells you about your 30-day money back guarantee. So, if you, I mean, it's engaging. So I know that even from my books, the way I write, the way I teach, the way I speak, it engages you to want to know, well, now what? Well, now what? Okay, what should I do next? Right. So I don't think nobody gonna take more than the 30 days, but I do guarantee you your 30-day money back guarantee.
Absolutely.
But yes, please follow me on Facebook is where I do on Tip Tuesday. On Wednesday is about all things financial Wednesday. And I was doing webinars on Fridays about entrepreneurship, but I'm moving that to a live as well on Fridays, where it's Entrepreneur Fridays.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your
Thank you.
yes,
I'm so
for
honored.
coming by and telling the LSMB Business Network people what they can do about getting their books in order. It's time to get our house in order first.
Have
Guys,
to.
get it done now. And then when this time next year, or even by the end of the year, when you're having to do your taxes for 2021, because that's going to be hectic.
It is. And the thing
Everything
about
we
it,
had
the
going on this
elections
year.
is also going to kind of influence some stuff. They don't
Yeah.
finalize tax laws until well into January of the following year. So, what you see today is not going to be what it is by the time we're preparing taxes. I got to do my continuing education to see what's changed so far, right?
Yeah.
But it will change. So, yes, now is the time, especially if you haven't done that. If you don't know your return on investment, you have got to attend Linda's class. And if you want to know how to optimize your deduction, get my course.
Absolutely. I am so go ahead and take a screenshot with your cell phone to make sure you get that web address that I just put up for her. And then if you are wanting to take the course, you can go ahead, and $50 will actually get you into my course. And so I am
Amen.
putting that information too. What happens is we have an orientation call, $50 holds your place, and we start digging in and getting ready. November 5th, everything is about getting you up and running so that you can start doing your business the right way from the ground up, even if you're in business. Because I've had students that have been in business for like 11 years and was like, but like we were in business, but we weren't making a profit.
Exactly. And it took them
So do it
11 years
right.
to figure out I need to talk to somebody. I better get some help, right? And the
But
funny
it's
because they
okay.
wasn't keeping their
I
books.
love him. I love them. Him and his wife, after class, they would go home and they would just talk about everything that we discussed. And they would come back
Amen.
the next night and tell us exactly what they came up with. And they were like, "We're so glad we just ignite. We can't even sleep. You've given us so much information. We go home and we go back over it, and then we just go back over it, and then we implement it, and then we just can't wait till the next week so we can learn something else." And I
That's
love
that's
them. I
value.
love. But that
Exactly.
exactly, but that's what you want, and that's so. So
Exactly.
this is if you want to enroll in my November class. That's the email address right there. And if you want to get in Tracy's financial course, because that's what you're going to need, guys. These two courses are going to change the life of your business. Like
Exactly.
you are going to be your 2021 is going to be very different from your 2020.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's something that people can't do either, is look at their analysis from year to year if you're not tracking your numbers. What you gonna do that in your head? Last year, April, I made what? Can you tell me? And I actually said that if anybody could tell me what they did or what expense they had from January last year,
Yeah, I know.
I give them some money, okay? Because they
I'll
good.
tell you,
You hear me?
without tracking it, without tracking it.
Without tracking it, just in the top of their head. I would
Yeah.
love to do that. I don't know a person alive that could do that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so there you have it, folks. Go ahead and get in those 2 courses. You see that one for financial literacy about your
Yeah,
business so that you can track your numbers and start scaling your business and get some help in how to cut costs
exactly.
because you may be spending too much. You may not be priced right. Like that whole thing, just
Right,
getting a business analysis, financial analysis of your business. Just make sure that you're priced right. Make sure that your unit costs are good. Make sure your cost of goods sold is good. Like the thing about it is when you talk to a financial person, they know what the best price is for any service. So they
right.
probably could tell you a vendor that could give you a cut on something that you're paying for your supplies. So yeah, so you want to make this, you want to make this connection. Like this has been so great. We are getting ready for 2021. We're getting
Yes,
our 2020 taxes together. We're getting our business knowledge on point. So we're not just starting these businesses to sell something. We're actually starting these businesses to create legacies.
right. Because there
My
is a
name is
difference.
Linda Murray Bullock. They call me the business plug. And so tonight I have plugged you into TLJ Professional Services so you can
Yes.
get your whole financial life. You guys, I will see you next Sunday at 7:00 p.m. on the Business Plugs Mixer. And leave your comments. If you have questions, we'll come back and get your questions. If you're watching this in the replay, please put hashtag replay. I'll see you next Sunday. You guys
Thank
have a great
you.
one.